University students across the country took to the streets today.
Thousands of university students demonstrated across the country today.
University of Regina students joined a National Day of Action today.
Thousands of Manitoba university and college students say the provincial government needs to keep its freeze on tuition fees.
They came by the hundreds, joined by thousands more across Canada.
And the biggest student rally in the Okanagan took place at the North Kelowna campus of OUC.
University students across the country walked out of classes today.
It didn't matter where students were in the streets. The message was the same.
We want to make sure that everybody who's interested in going to university or college can get there.
Thousands of university and college students gathered at the University of Winnipeg, preparing to march to the legislature. Students are protesting high tuition fees, and they want the government to legislate a tuition freeze. Since 1999, tuition fees at Manitoba colleges and universities have been frozen. Students say that's allowed more people to go to school. To show the support for their cause, the students unrolled a petition signed by more than 35,000 people from across the province.
We will not give up the fight!
Students say they're not asking for a free university education, but they want more funding from government so students don't have to pay as much.
4 provinces have frozen tuition. And even though that is under review in British Columbia, one province, Newfoundland, even reduced fees. The Canadian Federation of Students says nationally, it may have turned the corner.
University of Regina students aren't happy with the cost of tuition, and they're not alone.
We don't want no mac and cheese! Hey, Calvert! Free!
This rally was part of the Canadian Federation of Students' National Day of Action. Students in universities across Canada held similar rallies. The students are asking governments to freeze and reduce tuition fees. In the last 10 years, tuition in the province has increased by over 100%. Students at the U of R pay the 4th highest tuition rates in the country. In a recent poll, 79% of Saskatchewan residents supported a tuition freeze.
The students have had enough.
Just after lunch today, university students from every university in Nova Scotia gathered at Dalhousie University to begin their day of action.
It was all part of the National Day of Action, a day calling on governments to legislate tuition freezes.
Freeze our fees! Freeze our fees!
The freezing temperatures seem to suit the message. Thousands of university and college students from all over the Maritimes took to the streets.
The students then marched through the streets to meet up with other students at one of the busiest intersections in downtown Halifax. These students want to make as much noise as they can to make the government understand the financial burden they are under. Nova Scotia has the highest tuition fees in the country, and now it looks like it's about to get even worse as universities struggle to find the money to pay for programs.
Freeze the fees and reduce our debt! Make some noise!
The group grew, and so did their spirits as they made their way to the Nova Scotia legislature.
Today's rally also extended to other parts of the region. In Charlottetown, UPEI students marched from campus down to the provincial government offices. In Moncton, U of M students showed up at the Premier's office, and in Cape Breton, UCCB's official mascot led 500 University College of Cape Breton students on a march.
At campus after campus, students were determined to get their message out.
In Charlottetown, students are bearing the frigid temperatures to get their point across.
He would get in front of us and say in megaphone.
Here's where the protest ended up. More than 200 university students shut down the Royal Bank in Halifax this afternoon, frustrated over their huge student debts, demanding to speak to the bank manager.
Lots of street theater at Queen's Park still ringing tonight from an invasion by 4,000 university and college students.
The rally at Queen's Park is one of many held across the country today by the Canadian Federation of Students. An Ontario NDP leader
want to narrow the gap in costs
Because he can't afford more money for colleges and universities.
Students say education is being priced out of their reach.
Let me show you what they have spent $250 million of your money on since 1995. Today's newspaper, $38,000 for this Globe and Mail advertisement. A big, huge signature, Diane Cunningham. Congratulations. I'm sure these students would have preferred that to go into education and not into blatant government advertising.
You know as well as I know that none of us here are really interested in freezing the fees. You guys already know where I'm going with this. The fees don't need to be frozen. The fees need to be brought down.
Students left the campuses and spread the word. This was another day of action, another day to protest the cost of higher education in Canada.
And right now, students are organizing in all 10 provinces, fighting for the same things. Everybody say, freeze the fees! Come on, freeze the fees!
Now, those behind this campaign say they can turn their attention to tuition rollbacks, too. Norman Hermont, CBC News, Toronto.
Students around the province are preparing to fight.
Their enthusiasm wasn't dampened by the weather. A few dozen college students began a day of protest in South Vancouver this morning, demonstrating against looming tuition hikes. In Victoria, UVic students turned campus into a campground and this morning got up bright and early to prepare for their day of protest.
What do we want? Tuition! When do we want it? Now!
At UBC, Gordon Campbell loomed large as over 100 students took part in their day of protest. Administrators here say the tuition freeze has impacted the quality of education.
So here you go. There you are.
At Camosun College, information pickets have been set up to spread the word. Right now, word is the cost of their post-secondary education could more than double. In Nanaimo, a cookout of craft dinner, an inexpensive meal, but with tuition hikes likely, it's one many students would rather have than what they say the Campbell government is offering.
Many of the students rallying in Nanaimo joined others from Port Alberni and North Island communities, and also from UVic for a rally at the BC Legislature.
And while smaller colleges had smaller rallies, students still got out their message.
And in Cranbrook, dozens braving the snow to get their message out.
This is going on across Canada, so somewhere somebody's got to listen.
Students from all over BC rallied at the legislature, pressing their case in favor of maintaining the tuition freeze.
BC Liberals, go away! Oh, oh. Hey, hey! BC Liberals, 70% tuition fee increases if that Gordo monster has his way.
When someone says he isn't going to reduce minimum wage, when someone says that he isn't going to decrease funding for colleges and university, when someone says that tuition fees aren't going to go up, well, there's only one word to describe that type of person, isn't there?
The unions are also on hand to lend their support to the students in their fight with the government.
Post-secondary education is fundamental to building an economy. You can't build an economy on